or for yourself, feel free to contact Long John Silver's corporate headquarters and let them know how you feel about this. This is not something that should just go away just because the owner of the franchise says whoopsie daisy. No. Nobody, you should feel this whoopsie daisy. You should feel it.
And they're going to feel it in their pocketbooks, because if the number of hits, and now, we don't publish stories like this just to attract hits to the website, but I've got to tell y'all, this is in the interest of full disclosure, that one story today set a Honest Answer Radio record for number of hits on one story.
And you know what that tells me? That tells me that a whole lot of other people feel pretty strongly about this issue, too.
A whole lot of other people actually care. Because this town, man, you can't swing a cat by the tail and not hit a veteran in this town, simply because of this town's military history. And so there are a whole lot of people who are going to feel the burn of this story. And so that particular Long John Silver's is probably going to feel a bit of an impact.
Well, speaking of feeling the burn, we got to move on just a little bit. I have another story that may burn just a little bit,
but not us.
No, not us. Not us.
Nope.
It's another story that I saw first thing this morning.
Oh, are you talking about the little issue we discussed in the car on the way to work this morning?
Well, one of them. This is actually about the EPA.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Casey and I, we're such huge fans of the Environmental Protection Agency. We don't think they have enough power and enough authority.
Now, y'all should understand that Marty's voice is right now dripping with sarcasm. There's a big puddle of sarcasm at his feet right now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I really think that if we could, start trimming the fat in this country with budgets and who we entrust with authority, I think we should start with, if we're going to start cutting some of that. I've always thought that the EPA needs to be amongst the first to go. I mean, I'm not saying do away with them in their entirety, but there's a whole lot of them that are just unnecessary. And after you hear this,
actually, I'm okay with just totally defunding the EPA. Actually, I mean,
here's what's happened. Here's what's happened up in Alaska. There's still people that mine for gold up there. The EPA sent some of its officers to do
armed
I'm getting
officers.
there. I'm getting there. They sent their officers to do a water, test the water quality. And, it's not unusual for the EPA to go and check water quality or things like that, particularly around a mining operation, because a lot of times some toxic gases and toxic chemicals get released from the earth from that. Well, these guys show up wearing body armor, and they're I'm going to use one of the president's terms, assault rifles with police in big, bold letters emblazoned on their jackets.
Essentially SWAT teams.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
To test water quality.
They sent 8 armed men. That's a squad, man. They sent a whole squad just to go check for some dirty water.
And do you know what it is? They're not actually checking for the release of toxic chemicals. If you're like running a sluice in your mining operation, you're supposed to allow the water to settle in a small reservoir so that when you release it back into the groundwater, it doesn't turn the water cloudy because it will kill fish.
Right.
So naturally, of course, you want to enforce that with a whole squad of a SWAT team. Because, if some fish die, man, this could be bad. Just if that water gets cloudy, you might need a SWAT team there to kind of handle that situation and stuff,
But man, look, they're doing this in a town called Chicken. That's the name of the town.
That's the closest town. Obviously, these mines weren't in the town.
And it's also a town with a population of 17.
Well, of course, if there's 17 people in the town, I mean, man, you're going to need a whole SWAT team to run out there and enforce the Clean Water Act. I mean, that's just natural. I mean, shotguns, assault rifles, I mean, hand grenades. Man, I don't know why they didn't call up like an A-10,
And, think about this, too. All right, these guys are gold miners, all right? Now, this may not be the days of the Wild West, but mining, particularly gold mining like that, placer mining is what that's called, there's still people that will kill you for your gold and for your mine. And it wouldn't necessarily be out of the realm of possibility for someone to sew the words police onto a jacket and grab their guns and go jump in the mix of these people and get their gold.
Do you think maybe they were hoping that somebody might get violent, man?
Yeah.
I mean, because, this is one of those things where that sort of heavy-handed approach could actually cause violence when a simple visit from somebody wearing a bright yellow vest that says EPA on it, carrying a clipboard and some water sampling kits, one dude could handle that and probably, maybe not even make anybody mad. Because all the miners know that when you go up there to mine, even I know, and I don't mine gold, but even I know that, when you remove water from a stream to do something with it, before you put it back, it has to be clean.
Right.
That's not something that's just completely unheard of.
Right.
So expecting a visit from the EPA, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
No.
Not if you're a miner.
No.
You know that when you're doing something like that, you may get a visit from somebody in officialdom.
And see, it's just like, a few weeks ago, there was a story, I forget, where this happened. It was here in the continental U.S., though, where someone had rescued a baby deer. And, again, a squad of 8 armed officers storm into this place and kill the deer.
Hey, man, that deer could have hurt somebody, man. That baby deer. I mean, they're notoriously vicious, those baby deers,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No, they carry knives and stuff.
Well, and, they have no one to answer to for this. They have this huge authority that allows them to just burst up in your place of business or your home or your mine, wherever.
With guns.
And be totally accountable to no one.
The only thing that Congress can do is defund an agency. That's all they can do. Mm-hmm. They can vote to censure somebody. How much do you think a vote of censure would hurt Janet Napolitano's feelings?
Oh well, she may not even she may never eat again, man. But see, these people, when they've been asked about this, they're not. The EPA has flat refused to give any explanation, at least publicly, as to why it's using these armed officers in what it's calling a quote-unquote multi-jurisdictional investigation of possible Clean Water Act violations.
So,
not too long ago,
who do they work for?
Who, the EPA?
Yeah. Who do they work for?
I think they're supposed to be working for us.
I thought so, too. I mean, I'm just checking.
But I don't think that's how it works. I don't think the people are in their chain of command anywhere. As a matter of fact, The EPA has said, there's been a few cases where the EPA, they don't even have to answer to Congress. They're answerable to no one. We're the Environmental Protection Agency. Go ahead and mess with us, and we'll shut you down. I know you're a congressman, but, it looks like your property might just contain a couple of endangered lizards or an endangered speckled back beetle or something like that. Gosh, you're going to have to move. That's how these folks operate, man. The EPA, to me, is one of the scariest organizations that we have in this country.
They're second to the IRS.
Yeah, they operate with impunity.
They are the least accountable agency that I can think of off the top of my head.
And they're one of Obama's favorites.
Because even the Department of Homeland Security, they're responsible to people. They're responsible to Congress. They're also responsible to the president. The EPA, if you listen to them, they're not responsible or accountable to anyone.
Oh, now they're also saying as part of their justification that there was possible in this area, there was possibly a rampant drug and human trafficking going on in that area.
Now, wait, didn't you say this was in Alaska?
Yeah. Well, that kind of came as a shock to the Alaska state troopers that, live in that area and keep the peace in that area. They're like, wait, what?
I mean, it's too cold for
There's 17
that sort of
people
thing.
up there, man.
Who are they going to traffic?
Yeah. How are they getting drugs? This, like Casey said, this is Alaska. Now, I know drugs are everywhere, but man, look, if
man,
you're a dope addict, Alaska is not the place for you to be because you ain't going to score. I can tell you right now.
What's the growing season up there? Like 2 weeks?
Or 2 days, something like that. But the troopers are saying, they didn't say we didn't tell the EPA that we had a lot of drug trafficking and human trafficking and stuff up there.
And
see, that's how they justify them coming in there armed. They're saying, well, there's a lot of drug trafficking, a lot of human trafficking going on up in that area.
What business is that of the EPA?
Thank you. Well, see, they're saying that was for their safety, that those officers, there was a lot of danger up there.
Now, honestly, if I lived up there or if I had to go up there, I would take a big .44 Magnum pistol because there are bears that eat people. But I don't think you got to have an armed squad. And anyway, have you ever met a bear that respected a yellow vest saying EPA on it? I mean,
well, I was
going to
eat you, but you're EPA.
Yeah,
so,
or I would eat you, but you're a cop. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm just going to go over here and eat this other person.
Where's the press on this? Where's the mainstream press on stories like this, man?
Crickets.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to hear these stories, I don't think, on MSNBC. I don't think Chrissy Poo is going to leave his tingle alone, alone long enough to try to understand this or report it.
See, there was no twerking involved.
Okay.
Miley Cyrus was at home. Nobody was twerking. So, the mainstream media, they got nothing to say.
We got a serious problem in this country with some of its quote-unquote governmental organizations like the IRS and the EPA. And that's why we have elected representatives so that they can do something about these people.
Well, thank goodness we don't have any that we live on the side of the hill and we ain't got any standing water on the property, because they'd probably try and call it, since we're doing this broadcast, they'd probably try to call it a navigable waterway.
Yeah, well, we do got a mud puddle,
it's dried up now, so,
But, hey, man, that's not, that little story there in Alaska, that's not our own, that's not where we stopped tonight.
No, you because we haven't even hit the sound that you've got up here. We haven't even hit the audio clips yet.
Y'all thought we was going to get through this broadcast without talking about Syria, didn't you?
Y'all was wrong.
Yeah, it didn't go away. Casey, has the Syria question been gone away since Tuesday?
Nope, not even a little bit. Not close.
No, No.
But I tell you what, you know who did have a question about it the other day?
Who?
Well,